Patty. Hi, hello, welcome in for a comfy, cozy reading. I hope that you're comfy, I hope you're cozy, and I hope that you're ready for a little reading. I am going to start with an energy check as always because I don't entirely know why I am here, so we're going to find that out together. Some things I am picking up on right off the bat though is polar opposites, and opposites attract. On one hand, today I am feeling very light, very energetic. I would like to do things. I felt called to like doll myself up, like did my makeup for no apparent reason, which I haven't done in a very long time. So you could be called to do that. I have no idea. But on the other hand, at the same time, I'm very tired. I had a very late but fun night last night with my roommate and her friends, who are now like my friends. I mean, some of them were already my friends, and then others are just like were an extension that are now more of a connection. But anywho, it was fun, but I'm tired, a little hungover. Not really though, because I didn't drink too much. I stuck to just like normal beverages, and I personally stick to flour. But anywho, that could also be significant because I don't know why I shared that. Number 4 is significant. 4s in general are just significant. When I went up to make this cup of coffee on my Keurig, it actually said 444. So that feels significant. Also, whenever I look over at my astrology poster that's next to me, I look at the lion, which is the constellation for Leo. So the sign Leo could be significant because I'm picking up on like energetic and then calm, like two different energies. So I'm not too sure what today's reading is going to be, but I'm very intrigued. So if you're intrigued, feel free to stick around. But as always, don't make anything fit. Use your intuition, use your discernment, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. And if you're confused, then it just simply isn't for you and you can pick a different video or leave the message entirely. That's up to you. Anywho, I'm going to take a little sip and then I'm going to get started with the Green Witch's Oracle. And then I'm going to go in with the Doreen Virtue Oracle as well. The Healing with the Angel Oracle cards to be more specific. Alright, let's see. Country music could also be significant because there was a lot of country music playing last night, which normally I am quite opposed to. I'm not a huge fan of country music, but the songs that they were playing weren't like bad, to be honest. They were like, I kind of get down to them. But at the end of the day, I can get down to anything. And I feel like I'm saying that for a reason. I feel like you're somebody who like, that was a really good shuffle. I just have to acknowledge that. But I feel like you're the type of person who could resonate with that and also just kind of like a bit of everything or be able to listen to anything. But what you listen to in your own time is quite like niche. Okay. You can maybe listen to more like underground artists, not so much like mainstream music. I feel like maybe, like I said, you aren't opposed to anything. I don't feel like you're very judgmental towards any sort of like genre of music, but I feel like what you listen to in your own time is not what a lot of people listen to. It's very like individualistic, very unique. Anyway, can you please tap me into the person watching this? What is the current energy at the moment? Okay, so this is so random, but I heard sharing burdens in a subtle way, because Watering Can here talks about sharing burdens, asking for help, really connecting with your community and either giving support or asking for support and receiving support. And then Mortar and Pestle talks about integration, subtlety, and then thoroughness. So when I saw subtlety, I was like, sharing burdens subtly. I don't know if that could resonate for you because I don't really know. But we also have summer out here, which when I saw like the sun and the sunflowers, that's when I was like, okay, I kind of have to mention what I was thinking because this is kind of like confirmation. But it says expansion and growth. So I feel like there's this you're in this energy of learning not to carry everything on your own, learning to know when to ask for a little bit of help and knowing who to ask for help from. Because I feel like you're somebody who in the past you maybe weren't surrounded by the best, most, I don't like saying the best, the most supportive people, the most reliable people. You could have been surrounded by people who were quite flaky unless it was something that they wanted or needed. People who were there kind of for a reason in terms of your connection, kind of iced you out with snow when you needed help. Also, though, polar opposites here, summer and snow, feel significant. S, words and names could also be significant. My name is also Sarah, so that could also be significant. Which saying it loud always sounds so weird. I hate saying my own name out loud, but I feel like that's a universal thing. I feel like everybody feels that. I don't know. Yeah, I feel like you're in a space now, you're in an energy now, you're surrounded by people who are capable of supporting and being there for you now. It's like there's this energy of healing a wound, a lack wound regarding like hyper independence, having to be hyper independent because of never having people who you could rely on. And now that you're in a more stable position in life with more stable people surrounding you, you're having to force yourself to get out of that old mindset of having to carry everything on your own, because you don't have to anymore. And that even goes for like the little things. Like right now I'm picturing like carrying groceries in and out, because even to like put my own experience in for relatability, I guess, I love to try and carry everything in all at once. Like I'm somebody who, like, when I'm doing chores around the apartment, when I'm carrying garbage out, when I'm doing anything that could call for assistance, I'm very much like, nah, I got it. There's almost like this sense of pride in it that really feeds into your ego, and it's not the healthiest thing. Like it feels kind of good because it strokes your ego, but it's still exhausting nonetheless. And I feel like you could be noticing this cycle of like burnout due to this hyper independence, and the instant gratification that this hyper independence gives you isn't fulfilling you anymore, because you're noticing the like long-term repercussions. You could even be reaching burnout like quicker, so you're noticing it more and more and more. And now that you are surrounded by people who are more than capable of helping you with these things, you could even suffer with like a chronic illness. And so it could be like little things sometimes that you need help with, that first you can't help but feel a little bit like ashamed for needing help because you feel like a burden. But the people that surround you don't view you in that way. They don't view you as a burden. They want to help you. They get that same kind of pride and like ego stroke from helping you that like you get from helping yourself, which is funny. It makes them feel good, and it makes your connection stronger. It makes it more authentic. It makes it more real. It makes it more stable and reliable, and it helps it sustain long term. You know, I feel like you're in connections right now that you could be in the beginning stages of, but these are connections that feel like long-term connections. And in order to make them long-term connections, you need to put in that extra bit of effort. I'm all day, all morning, sorry, because it's like kind of only the afternoon, but all morning I've been hearing that like in order to have a village, you need to be a villager. And it's like in order to have a reliable community, you have to be a reliable friend, and you have to show up consistently, even if that isn't always in your best energy, because you could be somebody that always wants to put your best foot forward and always wants to show up kind of in your best energy, because again, you don't want to feel like a burden. You don't want to be a burden to people. And because the people around you no longer make you feel like a burden, it's like you're noticing that you're the only person that's making you feel like a burden. So it's like this mental switch that's going on, or that this video could even be triggering in a sense. For all I know, I don't know. I'm not like in your brain. I just am picking up on the energy. Oh my god, I lost my train of thought, so it couldn't be that important. Let's see what else comes to me. Yeah, now I'm picturing that video where it's like, oh, I haven't had a good day, like I'm not feeling my best, I don't know if I should like hang out with my friends right now. And then it's like, yes, you should. Like, this is the time that you need it most of all, like when you're at those lower points, because your true friends aren't just there for when you're good. They're there to lift you back up when you need to be lifted back up. They're not just there to like celebrate you. They're when there's obvious things to celebrate, they're there to also show you the not so obvious things to celebrate when you're in moments of it being hard to see, of it being hard to like yourself. Your friends are there to show you the reasons to remind you, to be there for you, not only when you're good, but also when you're like not good, when you're mad. The phrasing of that could have been better, but whatever. Whoever is watching doesn't care. Yeah, I feel like you're really establishing some roots. I feel like you're really learning to ask for help, not wait for it to just be offered, because that's another thing. People can't read your mind, and I feel like you're learning from maybe past cycles of like resentment building up internally and like secretively towards people because of the lack of what's the word I'm looking for, like offering of assistance. I feel like you're somebody who has always had a very hard time speaking up for yourself, so you're somebody who is like, please notice and ask if I need help, but then at the same time I feel like you have a hard time saying yes. So I feel like there's just this like, again, like vicious cycle of having a really hard time accepting help because of this worthiness wound. I feel like at the end of the day of like needing I'm not saying that you need it now, but your inner child and inner teen really needed that hyper independence to feel like good enough, to feel productive, productive enough to feel. It's another form of distraction, I feel like, to avoid the things that don't want to be thought about, the things that don't want to be felt. And now that you are strong enough and willing to feel those things out and think about those things and confront those things and those uncomfortable emotions, and you don't shy away from that anymore, it's like this is another step in that progress of now voicing that discomfort and voicing that need to other people, not just acknowledging it, but now voicing it to others. Learning to trust yourself, that you've changed and attracted in the right people, and also trust the people around you to show up for you when you need them to. And if they don't, then trust that they are not somebody that can be in your life like that, and that like go to somebody else, But I truly feel like you are surrounded by people who like love you and want to support you. Like, I feel like there's just this, again, like this trust wound, this, you have always kind of felt unsafe in survival mode, having to like constantly watch out for yourself, like watch behind your back, but you no longer need to be in that energy. It's like you're transitioning out of survival mode at the moment, and it's a very uncomfortable process because it's like you're rewiring your brain, you're rebooting your system, you're restarting things, you're relearning what it means to live and how you should feel on a daily basis. If you're getting used to the peace, you're getting used to the calm, and you're trying to allow yourself not to project past people onto current people, you know, because that's just not the case at the moment. I feel like you're in a really good, stable place, and right now it's just about trusting it so that you don't accidentally self-sabotage it because of projections from the past. I was channeling this before as well, like going through past things so that you're not projecting it onto what you're attracting in, and also so that you can create the space to attract this in, so that these ships that you're calling in have a place to park, you know? Like, I feel like my phrasing is so odd today. I don't know, maybe I'm just noticing it more. You could have I want to say strange, but not in a negative sense, but just a peculiar, what the frick? Peculiar, I've always struggled with this word. Peculiar, okay, deep breath. Peculiar way of phrasing and speaking. You could use words that people don't use very often or don't even really know, because I feel like when you speak without trying, you leave people a little like perplexed and confused almost, and it's not like a you problem. It's not something that like needs to be fixed or is something that should be focused on or, you know, insecure about, but it is something that I'm picking up on, that I feel like people who maybe who live in a bit of that like state of insecurity consistently may feel intimidated by you, or may left feeling almost like a little like confused or stupid after talking to you. I don't know, I'm just picking up on that because I feel like you're really smart, so I'm not trying to say like you're dumb and you can't string a sentence because that's not the case, and I feel like sometimes you could feel that way about yourself, but I think it's just sometimes a projection that people put on you that you kind of like feel, because I feel like you leave people feeling a little bit confused sometimes, where maybe they have to like Google a word and be like, what does that word mean? Or you talk about some niche thing and they're like, I have no idea what that is. Or maybe you're crazy into politics, and not crazy into, because everybody should be into politics, especially right now, but maybe you're just really knowledgeable about it and you retain a lot of information about it and you're able to relay that information very well, but again, because of the topic, maybe a lot of people around you aren't super knowledgeable on that topic, and therefore it leaves them feeling confused and almost like, oh no, like maybe should I maybe know more about this? I feel like you leave people a little perplexed and a little insecure, but without even trying. You're not somebody who goes out of their way to do that. You just naturally do because of the way that you show up in life. You don't show up in a typical way. You could be neurotypical. I also saw this thing on TikTok that's now coming to mind, where it's the pretty privilege in autism, and this girl was like, have you ever seen an autistic girl that is just so absolutely drop dead stunning that they're able to go through life like kind of completely unmasked, because nobody says anything, nobody believes them into masking because they're just so pretty, or even if people like the odd person tries to, they just kind of like naturally stay unmasked because of the pretty privilege that they hold, because the majority of people treat them a little kinder, you know, a little softer. that's coming to mind for some reason. So I don't know, you could have just watched that. Let me pull some cards though, because I've been yapping for a long time. Alrighty, I hope you like long readings, because I feel like this is going to be one. I'm only on the oracle cards still, but I'll only pull a couple of these guys. Anywho, can you please tap me more into their energy? Because if it doesn't resonate by now and you don't want this as your reading by now, I feel like it just probably isn't your reading. Forgiveness. Oh my gosh, I was channeling this in my other reading too that I posted like yesterday or the day before or something like that, where I was talking about how I was picking up on this energy of you needing to forgive yourself as well as other people from the past, because you are almost, rather than holding the grudge on the people from the past, you're holding the grudge on yourself for like being in that situation, and maybe even for some people putting yourself back in that situation to repeat cycles and stuff like that, because you didn't know what you know now. I was picking up on a need to specifically forgive yourself for not having the knowledge that you know now, for not having the clarity that you know now, for not being willing to see things as clearly as you see them now. And like, again, like I said in that video, even if you didn't watch it, just to like reiterate or like re-clarify, there is no actual need to forgive yourself. It's for you to let it go. The only reason why you need to forgive yourself is because of the internal grudge that you hold. There is no real responsibility or accountability to hold over yourself outside of any actions, that physical actions that you took that you feel deserve to be held accountable for. Because I feel like a lot of these things that you're holding, that you could be holding a grudge for and needing to forgive yourself for, are things that were outside of your control. These could be even traumas from childhood that, because you have a hard time putting the blame on other people, in your mind it has to go somewhere. You know, as humans, we tend to see things in a bit of a black and white palette, and I feel like maturing and growing is realizing that there's a lot of gray in life, and that there's a lot of things that coexist, and that there's a lot of change that can happen. I feel like even I'm now hearing that like leopard can't change its spots or something like that. I feel like you could even be like a representation of that being true, of people being able to change. You're like a walking representation of change, of how people aren't just the way that they are, that they are capable of being literally whoever they want. It's just a matter of putting in the work and being consistent, you know? And I feel like you've put that into practice in your own life, and without even really talking about it a lot, you just, to the people around you, are a bit of an inspiration to like stand up a little bit more in their life. But there is a need to be more playful in your life, to forgive yourself and be more playful. I feel like you could be just a little bit down, maybe your energy is a little bit heavier, but there's like, I almost feel like it's underlying, like it's something that like could be addressed, but isn't like an urgent, like you're about to have a breakdown about it, because your energy doesn't feel super heavy, but it does feel like there's like this thing that just kind of festers and like pokes at you a little bit. That, again, I'm going back to that hyper independence, where it's like you need to keep yourself focused, and the more that you slow down, the more that the louder this gets, is kind of what I'm picking up on. But the more that you forgive yourself, and the more that you address whatever it is that kind of like drags your energy down a little bit, the more playful you're capable of being, because the lighter your energy becomes. I feel like you're living with a lot more intention. I feel like you're trying to be a lot more present in your life, and yeah, just go through life with more intentions. I feel like you're realizing how powerful your thoughts can be, especially the patterns that you create with your thoughts, what you think about consistently. Okay, I'm gonna move on. We're gonna get tarot because, again, if this doesn't resonate by now, if you don't know, then I'm sorry, this is probably not for you. Because of this polarity that I've been really picking up on, this opposites attract energy, I was right away drawn to the Light Seers Tarot and then the Intuitive Night Goddess Tarot, which the Intuitive Night Goddess Tarot specifically, I'm not drawn to, I almost dropped that. I'm not drawn to for collective readings super often because I feel a bit more of a personal tie to this one than to any of my other tarot decks, because it was the first one that I got and it's the one that I did a lot of my learning on, and a lot of, like, because when you learn, you pull on your own energy. It's where I read my energy the most out of, or like can, because I can't really pick up on my own energy that often or that clearly, but I do get it the clearest from this. That being said, it doesn't take away from, even if a reading like resonates for the reader, it doesn't take it away from the person watching. It just means that you could be a part of the same collective at the end of the day. Anywho, if you can't hear that, Bean's at my door. I'm just gonna shuffle this a couple more times. We have the Warrior of Cups on the bottom. I have been feeling like love in the air, I guess, is what, like, the phrase I'm picking up on, but I don't know. Part of me loves love readings, part of me hates love readings. Like, not in a like judgy and like a lack of belief sense, just in that they can be so repetitive sense, and I don't love feeding into things or like giving people things to like wait for. I like picking up on people's energy in the current present moment, so you can kind of help like pick it through a little bit more and gain clarity and confirmation in the areas that you need it, and to help you like move on from it. At the end of the day, I feel like I'm here to help you like let things go and move on to things. I don't want to feed into anything or give you any reason to hold on to something that doesn't need to be held on to. Anywho, rants aside, let me, Vinny, come on, get settled. Come on, get comfy. Ooh. I'm going through some major life pivotal change though. I feel like a lot internally, but again, like in doing so, you're attracting that externally as well. You could be making a lot of plans to travel, or wanting to. Okay, which one do I want to go with first? I kind of want to go with the Night Goddess one because I keep hearing night and day difference. So that could be in terms of your change. You're my sunlight girl. Alrighty. Why exactly am I here today? Can you please tell me why I'm here? Ooh. Let me just get a few and then I'll talk. Okay. I was picking up on love a little bit, like I said, love feels like it's in the air. I did just watch Rio with my sister, and that kind of feels like Nipkin's Beanie. Don't fight with me right now. Don't play with the cards, please. We're not here for that right now. We have the universe still on the bottom. I keep hearing like coincidence, serendipity, things like that. There's even somebody that I follow on Instagram that I like met through my work, and they post pictures, and there will be like, we'll own like the same weird little things, and we'll like message each other and be like, oh my god, like I have that, and it's like a cute little thing that I love that happens and whatever. But it's making me think of that, which is making me think of like serendipity, like coincidence. I heard divinity, like divine timing. Give me one more. But there could be a King of Swords in your energy, masculine energy, who could be very smart, very logical, more like stoic, kind of like a, doesn't wear their emotions on their sleeve as much. They could be the quiet calm, you could be the feisty, more like fiery. You could be the yapper, they could be the listener, essentially, is what I'm picking up on. Because earlier I was picking up on that like dual, that like opposite energy. This person is coming, because energy is coming out that way. So you could either resonate with this energy, or you could, like in the sense of being this person, or you could resonate in the sense of like knowing somebody like this. But somebody's very attracted to the work that you put into yourself. They could work with you. You guys could work together. But more specifically, they're attracted to the death and rebirth that you've gone through. Like I said, I feel like you inspire people because of the change that you put into yourself, and how you're not somebody who is like, oh, that's the way I am. You're somebody that says, oh, that's something that I should work on, that I'm going to work on, you know? If it's something that you can change, and it's something that you believe should be changed and would be beneficial, then you will put in the work to change that. You're not somebody who just like accepts things and like accepts your misery because it's comfortable. You're like, I'd rather take discomfort over the same consistent misery, the same cycle over and over. Can you get comfy? This could be somebody that had a missed opportunity with you. So this could be somebody from the past. It doesn't have to be somebody that you were like fully with. I'm never talking about a toxic ex, so please never put somebody in that place. But this could be somebody that never fully got off the ground. This could be somebody that you went on maybe like a few dates with even. But I'm just picking up on this missed opportunity. This person could have maybe even never spoken this attraction to you. You've just seen this person in passing, or like in a group kind of like setting, like mutual friend kind of way, because I am picturing like party I did go to, like an accidental little, like, I wouldn't even really call it a party, but because there wasn't like that many of us, but it was a lot of fun. We listened to music, we danced, we had some drinks, all that stuff, you know? So you could have been in that, like those sort of settings with this person, in like group or like public settings. I don't know if this person even brought this up to you. How does they? Okay, hold on. Can you please tell me who this person is with this King of Swords? There could have been heartbreak here. There could have been some form of hurt, some form of felt of betrayal. Can you give me one more for that, please? Right? We have the Queen of Swords to clarify the Three of Swords and the Spirit of Swords. So this is giving me mutual boundaries. You both really like put your swords up and we're like, okay, done. This person views you in a very high regard. They view you as like a wish fulfillment. But there's so much hurt behind this, weirdly enough. Again, I'm not picking up on a toxic person, but now I'm being reminded of what I was talking about as well with the like, let me clarify. It feels like a miscommunication. Wrong timing. I feel like it was situational. I really don't think there was any real betrayal. It almost gives right person, wrong time, where it was like you guys were forced to set up boundaries and it wasn't something that was like necessarily wanted. Like these boundaries hurt. Like setting these boundaries hurt. That's kind of the energy that I'm picking up on. Ace of Wands. Freedom. That's also, I believe, the Chariot card, and that, but the freedom, the use of that word feels very significant, where you remind this person of freedom. I just heard taste like freedom. Lots of major arcana out here to represent you in a sense as well, or to represent the other person. I'm not going to confuse myself. If you need to flip the roles in which I'm talking, do so. Again, the Nine of Pentacles was originally came out in reverse, and then like as soon as I flipped it, flipped upright. But immediately I picked up on that hyper independence again. It's like you're independent, but almost to a fault. But again, this is something that you are very aware of, and people know that you are trying to work on. The people around you know that you're trying to work on. Because the people who don't give to you don't know anything about you because they don't receive anything from you anymore, so I'm picking up on. The people around you know. Because I feel like you're vocal about the things that you're working on. You could maybe have to like voice out plans, voice out like thought processes. Which is, I feel like, really admired by the people around you. They could find it cute. Endearing. I just heard endearing. We have the Monarch. No way. I accidentally pulled out the Monarch and the Mystic, which is the Hierophant and the Emperor. This person wants to like commit to you. This person really wants to step up in their masculine energy and kind of like take control of the situation. I heard man up, not to be gender specific because I'm never gender specific. That's just what I heard. So this person does not have to be a man. I am picking up a little bit of like LGBTQ plus energy, but again, doesn't have to be. This deck is just very androgynous. This person is very heavy and they're... You are joking. You are joking. We have the Empress and the Nine of Swords on the bottom of the deck. Not only do we have the Mystic and the Emperor, but we have the Empress to go along with the Emperor. This person really thinks about this connection. What could be, what could have been. What they want to do, what they want to say, what they haven't said, what they should have said. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. Is the energy that I'm picking up on. This part, you just live rent free in this person's mind. I would not be surprised if there was some form of progression in this energy because of how serious this person is like showing up right now. I'm getting so much major arcana. I'm getting the King of Swords, which is a very serious king, very honest king. It's a very honest card. In the Monarch, which is all of the kings embodied, and the Empress is all of the queens embodied. And we have the Queen and the Kings, like just the, again, exactly like I was saying going into this, that duality, that polarity, that two sides of the same coin, that light and that dark. It's like you guys fit. You guys, I feel like, are a divine embodiment of each other. And because I'm not a believer of like somebody else completes you. I feel like you are a complete and whole person on your own. It's about finding those pieces of yourself and learning to love them and all whatever. But you guys are like, what's that term? It's like knit from the same cloth or something, like sewn from the same cloth or something like that. You guys, it truly feels like opposites but one and the same. It's like there's just this like, even if you aren't super close with this person, there's this just sense of knowing with the Six of Cups on the bottom. This could be a past person, like I said. Not toxic, not abusive. I will never, ever, ever read for people like that, so please don't ever put somebody in that place. I'm not here to feed delusions, like I said in the beginning. I'm here to read energy. Anywho, but even if you don't know this person from the past, and this is like a mutual red string, always been in the background of your life kind of energy, there's this sense of comfort and home that is found in each other that honestly makes me like quite emotional. Like I want to cry, and the last few days have been very emotional. Just started my period, not that you need to know, but that like really unlocked something this time for some reason emotionally. I'm not always like this every time, but this time was quite overwhelming. So you could resonate with that because I felt called to say it for whatever reason. But I feel like this person dreams about you a lot, or you could dream of this person a lot, and this person maybe doesn't sleep very often. That or vice versa. Either you dream of this person a lot or you don't sleep very often, one or the other. Because this person, it's, you know. Ooh. Sorry, I thought she was going to throw up. She was like, "Mer, mer, mer," just laying there. You good, baby? Okay. Can you please tap me into the person watching this and how they know this person? Please tap me into this person, to energy of the person watching this. Ooh, I forgot I had a drink. It's probably cold now. Okay, I got quite a few for this one. With the 6 of Wands on the bottom, so this person you could post online, this person could watch you online. Wine could be significant. This person could maybe want to ask you out for a drink. There's something else I was gonna say. I guess it couldn't have been. Oh, this person wants to recognize the connection. There was some form of recognition that wants to be given. I was gonna say it could not have been that for that. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me gather my thoughts correctly so that I can speak coherently. This person wants to bring some form of justice. That's what reminded me. This Justice card is what reminded me of what I want to say about the 6 of Wands. They're releasing some form of grief tied to this. Again, it's that what I should have done, like replaying the past and releasing. We have the 8 of Pentacles again. You were working really hard. I feel like you're working really hard on not waiting for this, because this, when I flipped it, fell on top of this. Sorry, this is really, you could be really scattered. Like oh my gosh. Sorry, just the difference. I just have to acknowledge this is not intentional. I'm like really sorry. Sorry. The way that I pulled cards for this was very structured and slow, and I took my time a little bit and I went into everything individually. Reading for you specifically is very scattered. You could have ADHD. You could just be, like I said, a bit more fiery, a bit more energetic, a bit more faster paced. Have a bit more fire to you with this Page of Wands energy, especially with the Sun energy. I feel like you were the embodiment of the sun, and this other person could kind of be the embodiment of the moon. But I feel like you're working hard at not waiting for this, but also finding passions to light that spark within you, that way it doesn't have to come from another person. You're learning to have people in your life as an addition, not as like a drive in your life or like a purpose. I just keep hearing purpose. I feel like this person really, they could have maybe Beanie. I feel like you could hear from them quite soon, because Beanie's now coming all over me, and like this person really wants to show you affection and tell you how they feel, like show you how they feel. We have 8-8 out here. We also have 7-8, so it's giving ascension as well. And 4-3-2-1 is significant because of the way that I've laid this out now. Okay, so I'm picking up on this energy of there being a lot of passion here. I feel like you guys bring out your inner children. So there's this just like palpable energy that is just developed between the two of you. It's really hard to describe. I keep picturing that like or I keep hearing that saying where it's the like tension, so if like you could cut it with a knife, but in like a really good way. Like you guys bring in a really good side of each other, but I feel like it's external factors. Like you guys came into each other's lives at a very pivotal time, at a time where there were a lot of cycles that were being closed out, a lot of justice and karma being kind of like, I heard dispersed, but then I heard laid out. So I feel like there was just a lot of change happening, and there was I keep getting this like crowded energy. I feel like you guys, even though it felt like there was a place in each other's energy, there just wasn't a place in each other's lives yet. Like you guys meshed really well, and maybe I don't think you guys communicate anymore, because I am picking up on this kind of like separation energy, especially with this 8 of Cups. It feels like you or the other person had to walk away, because it was either you or this other person that had that chaotic energy. But I feel like it was very mutual and mirrored, just in different ways. Like for one person it could have been like a lot of toxic connections that they were trying to work through. For the other person it was working through a lot of toxic mindsets and a lot of toxic habits, and maybe like even addictions or like something like that. But there's just a mutual energy of like other things needing to take precedence and needing to take up importance and needing to take up the attention, and it creating this like frustration. And it feels like this connection was like completely cut off before it could even go anywhere, because the further it went, the more resentment that would have been built is the energy that I'm picking up on, because this connection could have not have been prioritized in the way that you would have wanted to prioritize it. Like each of you would have wanted to prioritize it because of the other things in your lives that were going on, and the people that were maybe around that were taking up that priority, taking up that place. I was just picturing and hearing as well with the when I was looking at the 6 of Wands, 6, 7, 8 as well. And oh my gosh, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, because we have the 4 of Cups, the 5 of Cups, 6 of Wands, 7 of Cups, 8 of Cups. Lots of cup energy. So you could have a lot of water in your chart. Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer. And Aries, Leo, Sag for fire as well. Yeah, there's just a lot of justice taking place, a lot of karma taking place that neither of you really like knew about at the time. Yeah, a lot of conflict. 5, 5. A lot of conflict, a lot of change. Okay. Can you please tell me why you are presenting this energy to me, why I'm picking up on this energy? I'll go back to this one because I feel like it's this person that's bringing this up, to be honest. I don't think it's you. Can you please tell me why I'm here, why you're bringing this energy to my attention? Oops. Okay. Yeah, I saw the Ace of Cups, obviously. Okay. And Justice again. Again with that mirroring energy. This person really... You are absolutely joking right now. We have 3 aces. We have the Ace of Swords, we have the Ace of Wands, and we have the Ace of Cups. This person wants to bring you clarity. They want in the form of like a romantic offer, and they have a lot of passion behind it. Like something, and this feels like, yes, it's a new beginning that they want to start, but I feel like they are a new person. They are going to be showing up in a new way. This is going to shock you. This is going to surprise you. You may not even fully recognize this person because of the difference in their energy. They could even look differently. There's this sense of like a standoff with the way that these guys are looking at each other in these cards. It's like really funny to me. And then I have Justice kind of like in between them at the top. This person I heard is dying to bring justice to this situation. The 3 aces is what's like kind of killing me here. And that Spirit of Swords again with the Queen of Swords out here. My back's getting itchy, like on my shoulder. I feel like you could maybe run into this person, like they could tap you on the shoulder, or that could be like another confirmation that could have happened recently, like somebody from your past could have tapped you on the shoulder, because I also ran into a childhood friend of mine at the library recently, and that is coming to mind. So it could have been like not this person, but you could have run into somebody recently who tapped you on the shoulder. Just tapping on the shoulder feels significant. This person is trying to show correctly because they're worried that you're not going to have compassion for them. The Empress. They are thinking so have. Oh my god. This is actually crazy. The like confirmations, and again the mirroring, like the same cards coming out over and over again. Look at Beanie. Just acknowledgement for the bean. Because she's so cute. How lucky am I that she wants to take up so much of my bed, and that she feels safe enough to show me her belly like that. I can't think about it. That's gonna make me cry, to be honest. Yeah, I would not be surprised if this person reaches out to you. As always, like I said earlier, I'm not here to help you hold on to any, like, feed into anything or help you hold on to anything that doesn't need to be held on to, but I feel like you've been picking up on this energy as I burped, confirmation burp, and I'm just like, this is a confirmation of what you've been picking up on. You could have just had a dream about this person, extra confirmation. And also extra confirmation if this is somebody who has maybe like come in and out a couple times. You could maybe dream of this person right before they re-enter your life, and you could have just dreamt of them. So I don't know, I feel like you've been picking up on this energy already of them entering or re-entering again, representing themselves. I just heard. But as always, don't hold on to anything. Take it as a confirmation, as it's meant to be, and focus on the things that you were meant to focus right now, the forgiveness that you're meant to have within yourself and for yourself, all of that forgiveness that you might have to have for this person. Again, like I've said a billion times in this is not a toxic ex, this is not an abusive person, this is not somebody who doesn't deserve another chance. This is somebody who, if you want to give them another chance, I feel like deserves another chance or could deserve another chance. As always, use your own discernment, but I do not live your life, I just read your energy. But let's just get you some guidance. Guidance for the person watching this, please. That freedom again. This, whether you say yes and allow this person come in, start a new cycle with them, or you say no and you completely close off that cycle, this is meant to bring you freedom. This is meant to help you let go of whatever happened in the past, surrounding this, give you freedom from the situation. feel like this is just one of the many things that you could be receiving at the moment. I just had to clarify this emerging card because I was just a little confused by it. But I feel like it's talking about the things that are coming up for you, the things that are emerging, the abundance, the blessings that are emerging and entering your life at the moment that you're attracting in. The support that you have, I feel like right now you're meant to focus on your community, focus again on learning to ask for help, learning to accept support, confirmation burp, learning to accept what is, call your power back, accept the fact that you are capable of receiving these miracles, this abundance. Get yourself back into a state of belief, because I feel like maybe you've been a little bit too detached from this to the point where like you stopped believing that you were deserving of it. You're deserving of it. You're deserving of all the blessings that are coming your way, not just people, because I feel like your life doesn't revolve around a person. Your life, if anything, if any person, it revolves around you. But I feel like you don't just care about love anymore. You care about every experience in life. And I feel like for a lot of your life, you really focused on love, and you put love on this pedestal of nothing will ever measure, or my life will never be good until I have this, that perfect relationship or something like that. So I feel like you could have maybe been single for a long time in order to get yourself out of that state of I need a relationship to be happy, that energy of needing that, of not being able to be alone. But then, like I said, it's like now it's going from both ends of this spectrum and finding that center, finding that middle ground, finding that balance, going from always needing somebody to like never being able to like receive support, to now finding that middle ground of not codependency, not hyperindependence, but that balance. That balance of reciprocity. Anywho, I'm gonna leave it there because I am running out of things to say and I have been recording for an hour. Like I said, I hope y'all like long readings. If you are interested in more content by me, you can watch my vlog channel. It's Sarah Jean 333, I believe, or Sarah Jean 777. I get my TikTok and my YouTube mixed up a lot. I need to just I don't know why I didn't make it all the same thing, but whatever, live and learn. But I also have my Willow Tree Tarot 333 account on tarot, and then my TikTok is either Sarah Jean 777 or Sarah Jean 333. My YouTube and my TikTok are one of those, okay? But yeah, anyway, I have a link tree somewhere, I believe, as well, maybe on here, but I can never remember where anything is, if I'm being honest. I myself am also very scatterbrained. Hi, I keep seeing the way that you look at me in the camera, and it's making me like so distracted because you were so cute. I'm gonna go cuddle her and read a book, I think. So I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day. Get outside if it's nice where you are. It's beautiful where I am. So I hope it's beautiful where you are. But anyway, I'm gonna go because I don't know what to say and I'm getting awkward. I love you. Have a great day. I'll see you in the next one.